Respect the recovery. So your client's just had a baby. It's a massive change if it's their first, even if it's their second or third. And the priority for them during that first 8 weeks is themselves and their baby, that connection between baby and just working through what that looks like. There should be no fitness during this time. The 6 to 8 week checkup is purely the end of their maternal care. It's not a green light for them to jump straight back into exercise. So we just want to get that clear. We have a lot of clients that say, my 6 week checkup's done, I'm good to go. So once they've been seen by a women's health physio, that's when you can start training them again. It is recommended that they go and see a women's health physio first before they start training with you. You can suggest to your client that they go and get a WOF, Warrant of Fitness. Once they've had the all clear from then, start training them. When you do start training them, we go back to foundations come first. We start rebuilding from the ground up. Breathing helps connect with the core muscles, it promotes relaxation, and it helps supports the spine. So this is really key, we get the foundations right first. You want to teach your client how to do the abdominal draw-in maneuver. You want to layer that with pelvic floor exercises. And then you can start building on top of that there. You can use pelvic floor as a bit of a guide. So if you're doing a movement or an exercise, can they engage their pelvic floor? Yes. Okay, the exercise is good. If they can't engage pelvic floor and they're not quite sure what the engagement feels like, it's probably a bit of a sign to dial it back or to regress it. I'm now going to show you some key exercises specific for postpartum exercise. Okay, so now that you understand the breathing of the core, engagement of the pelvic floor, and TA, transverse abdominis, your breathing, we want to layer it, and this is about building core stability here. Really specific to postnatal. Okay, so what you want to do is just keep the back nice and flush. Tuck the tail a tiny bit, but you're kind of neutral in your abs here. Shoulder blades are back and down. You're going to get your client to slowly, so you inhale first. On your exhale, you're going to take one foot and you're going to do a heel slide. So you're looking to try and keep the opposite knee up to the sky, not leaning in, okay? And then you're going to drag it back, recruiting your abs and your hamstring. Again, you're alternating. You're going to drive the heel out, trying to keep the abs on here as you're heading out. And then drawing your abs back in as you pull your heel back into the start position. If you want a progression from here, you can get them again, inhale. On the exhale, take one foot out. So again, using your stability here, focusing on stabilizing through the abs. The other foot can go out. And then you're going to try and get them to bring both heels in together. So using your hands for support, abs on, tuck the chin, and guide both heels back in. That is a progression. Okay, remember they've just had a baby. And you want to start here and checking in to see how they feel through their lower abs first. Another exercise that's really good for building core stability here is tucking the tailbone and lifting one foot up. Okay, so you're doing little heel taps, alternating. Make sure the knee doesn't come too far in. Okay, you're stacking it above the hip, foot at 90 degrees, shoulder blades back and down. Inhale. On the exhale, they're going to try and take that foot down and up, okay? That's another option. And then your last option, there's multiple options, but another one that's specific for when you come back into training a woman postnatally is tucking the tailbone, lift one foot up. If they're comfortable and if it feels okay, they're lifting the other foot up. They can bring their hands to their core just to check in and make sure it feels okay. Arms are going to go up to the sky, shoulder blades down to the ground. You're going to try and hold here for 5 seconds, and then if they feel comfortable, bring their feet down, relax. You can increase that to 10 seconds. Okay, so again, inhale. Hands on the ground so you've got some support. Tuck the tailbone. As you exhale, bring both feet up. My abs are on. Now once you're in this position, inhale, arms up. and try and hold it here. Shoulder blades are down, I'm soft in my neck and jaw. This should be challenging enough, okay? So just be mindful and check in with them and see how they're feeling. Okay, so in terms of building strength and endurance, we want to start to progress a little bit. I'm going to show you a couple of options to do postnatally. We want to start working on our adductors on the inside, so you want to make sure your elbow stacked under your shoulder, hand is flat or in a fist, depending on what feels more comfortable for them. You're going to keep your underneath leg bent and your top leg straight. Make sure the hips are stacked, you're lifting and holding, so I'm looking at working the glute here and your hamstring. Flex your toe back to your face. Holding here for about 10 seconds, this is the endurance part of it, and lowering. You might find since they've had a baby, their leg might be shaking, or there might just be a bunch of different things going on for them here, especially since it all filters back into your pelvic girdle. Okay, so they might lift a leg and go, oh no, it's not right. So again, it's just checking out their body, their stability, seeing how they're feeling, doing longer holds each time, and that will build them up. So now you understand the core breathing, we've started to put some movement patterns in there. Now we're focusing on dialing it up a little bit, and we can start playing around with some core exercises now. So you obviously want to keep them modified to start with and then build them up as they feel comfortable. Okay, so popping on into your modified plank position. You're nice and long through your torso, and then what you can do here is you can just get them to bring their hands out to the front and back in. If they feel comfortable with that, bring them out, and you might want to get them just to do a little reach forward. So there's a lot going on with my abs here. My hips are trying to stay nice and still. I don't want to see any lifting and twisting like this. It means I'm not using my abs, okay? And then the second one you can do is your foot. So you extend one foot, and then the other foot. See how my hips are staying nice and still? My abs are firing on all cylinders, okay? So you're just being mindful of it, getting them to breathe, and building that endurance through their core and upper body. Another movement you can incorporate, instead of just your standard lunges, obviously just get a bit more dynamic movements in there. Okay, so you're looking at getting your trunk rotation, actively pulling that left elbow back as you're working through your lunges. So you're stepping back, inhaling, exhaling, and you're going to twist through your core back to center and driving up. Okay, make sure they're breathing. Cue breathing as much as you need to. It's always a win. Okay, inhale when they're standing, exhale. Get the full use out of your core in this position. So now you have a good understanding of some key exercises to do with your clients when they first return to exercise postpartum. A couple of key reminders. It's your job to build them back up safely, not as fast as you can. They don't need to be rushing back to their fitness test. They've still got time. If they have any issues with this or any concerns, they can refer back to the MO. Make sure you include your pelvic floor activations at the beginning of each workout, just reiterating that. You want to focus on proper form, which you already know. And then it's again tuning into their body. See how they're moving. Mentally, they might say, yep, we're good to go, but you can read cues from them as your job to see how they're moving. If you feel like you're ready, if you feel like they're ready to progress, that's when you should progress them, not when they say, yep, I'm good to go. Make sure you include stretching of the posterior chain, as it might be a bit tight. So just keep those things in mind.